some errands today. Had to get a new tire because there was a nail stuck in my tire, and I'll tell that story a little bit later. And then while I was out, I was like, let me go ahead and run to the grocery store while I'm out, because I really don't feel like leaving back out the house later on today. I'm a little out of sorts because I have a new job and I've been working double shifts at that new job. Although there has been a major increase in my pay, the hours are like smaller. So in order to compensate, I work double shifts. I work a 6-hour shift at night, and then I work like a 3-hour shift in the morning. So that puts me at like 9 hours a day, which is fine. And I like it to a certain extent. I had the hopes of working 10-hour shifts on the weekend, Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays. That way I could be home Tuesdays through Friday and still earn enough income to pay my bills, right? But anyway, so I jumped on here at this time because of the simple fact that it's like I woke up, and as I was riding this morning to go get the car serviced, I heard, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And of course, we all know that saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. However, for the majority of our lives, or whenever we came to understand this knowing, it's been on a physical level where, okay, when the student is ready, that teacher, that person is going to appear. But for me, at this moment, because I'm ready to receive a certain particular knowledge, it showed up. Now, I've had this knowledge sitting on my, in boxes. I want to say my bookshelf, but I don't have my bookshelves right now. So all of my books are in boxes, and the information, the documents, the reports, articles, books, novels, what have you, all this information I've had, and I've been trying for like over a year now. I'm gonna say a year, since last year, to read and study up on this, and I didn't have the opportunity to do that. But recently, while I was waiting to have my tire changed, I was able to calm down and actually absorb the information that I've been holding on for like a year and a half, and I'm excited about it. I think the thing that has changed, what made me ready to receive it, was that I'm ready to put it to use. When I first signed up, I was ready to study it, to understand it, but now I'm ready to put it to use. So that's what I want to say at this time. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Stop looking into the physical aspects of things. Sometimes things are physical, sometimes things are spiritual. They're esoteric, they're energetic. Let me say it that way. They're energetic, because spirituality is energy, esoteric is energy. Everything that we are is energy. So you have the physical, and then you have the energetic, right? When you are ready, you will know that you are ready when you have a taste for it, and you not necessarily hunger for it. And there's a difference. A lot of times we're taught to hunger for it. When there's a deep desire for it, then you will absorb it, you'll gain it. But that, in a sense, is that you're being greedy. You're surviving rather than thriving. And we've come to the point to where we are done surviving. We've survived plenty of times. We're breathing air as we speak, right? We're surviving. However, it's time to thrive. Surviving is when you are hustling to make ends meet. You're hustling to get things done. You're hustling, you're moving about, you're just all over the place to get these particular things done. When you're thriving, it's like you are aware, ooh, please forgive me for running this red light, but I could not hit those brakes. When you're thriving, you are looking around at the resources and the tools that you have readily available, and you're using those to gain access to more resources and tools to get you to the next level, to help you continue your journey, or whatever the case may be. And it dawned on me at the moment that I was like driving on my way to get my tire fixed, was that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And what was crazy was, I was like, okay, let me grab this. I'm gonna grab this. I got my book in here just in case I get bored when I'm sitting there, because you're sitting there for about an hour and a half, depending on what all they have to do. And so when I got there and I sat down, subconsciously I gravitated towards the paperwork that I have been trying to study for almost a year and a half now, that I consider to be vital to my livelihood and my remnant's livelihood. And when I say I sat there, there was no hesitation, there was no struggle to read and understand and comprehend. When I looked at those words, they came fluidly. I was able to read, highlight, underline, take notes. And I knew that I was ready to receive it. And another thing is that I've also been contemplating if I'm going to go ahead and drop out of school. Because I'm taking psychology. Do I need it? No, because I understand psychology. My perspective on colleges is if you need it. If you need to be disciplined in the art of humanities, to study something, to perform something as far as like a physician or such, a doctor or such, you do need that education. I'm not gonna lie. You need that discipline, because you could be out here saying some crazy ass shit and misguiding people. And there has to be a discipline. There are principles. There are what is the word? There's a word for it. And I'll just stick to principle at this time. Or it could just be disciplines. There are disciplines that you need to have set in place. For instance, the right verbiage to use, which is important. The right tone to speak in. The right understanding, especially when it comes to psychology, when it comes to a person's mind. You need to study. And we're starting to find out that in Christianity, your ass need to go to school. Because how you explain in the Bible, that meme of that lady talking about how God put sin in the body and stuff. Oh my God, somebody go cleanse her ass. Just go throw some sage at her ass. Smoke and clear her ass out. Oh my God. Anyway, I'm getting off subject and stuff, and I'm rambling on. But I just wanted to get on here and say that. Because at this moment, I feel like I'm ready. And the teacher is appearing, which is self. So it looks like I'm gonna be back on YouTube. I tried to go to TikTok, but I gotta figure out how to do it, how to upload and stuff. I gotta sit down and actually get some things situated. But yeah, I got more to talk about, guys, and it's weird. And yes, I'm driving. I know, right? I got my license, I took my taxes, and I paid for driver's lessons. And then I used the rest of my money, and of course, me being able to work a full-time job and be consistent with work for a year and a half, I was able to finance a car. So here we are, leveling up at every moment. And it seems like what I'm asking for, I'm receiving. And at this moment, because I was like really upset that I was like, okay, got the job, got the car. What's blocking me from getting my own space, from getting my house, from removing my remnants and I out of the environment of these karmic individuals who need help. They need psychological help on a very deep level. And I'm not being fucking funny. Like, if I can like give y'all like a moment and y'all be like, oh, that bitch crazy. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot. And I'm going to get some help. I'm going to get some help. Not for them per se, but just so somebody can actually, so they can listen to somebody, because they won't listen to me. They will not listen to me, and they're not going to, because it's an ego thing. To them, I'm not the 39-year-old adult who was able to come out of poverty and take the minimum resources that I received from the States as a stepping stool to get to where I needed to be at this very moment, right? So, yeah. But it's like, it's crazy. It's crazy how things are happening. And of course, I keep going back and forth as to what's going on. But how I'm perceiving things at this time is that the things that I've asked for, the things that should have been given to me in my youth at the time that they were supposed to be given to me, they're being given to me now. I had to stop driving at 15 because I started having seizures. So that was the end of that. And I have been struggling with seizures for over 11 years. And then after that, even after that, I still tried to work a job, because I had my firstborn at 20. Then I had my princess at 24. And then my middle son, oh Lord, 20 at 27. And then my youngest at 31, which is insane, right? And this whole time, throughout that journey, I've worked various jobs, but I was not able to get past 3 months on those jobs. Like, as soon as I work the job, I'm doing good, I'm making money, then something happens with the child care. And something happens with transportation. They can't take me to work. They can't watch my kid. Now, I found it strange that they were willing and they were open to watching my kids while I went out to the clubs. They didn't have an issue with that. But when it came for me to work, and I needed help, getting back and forth to work, it was a problem. Do you see the psychoticness in that shit? It's like they wanted me. Excuse me, y'all. I think I just spit. Sorry. It's like they wanted me to be in this certain energy and be seen in a certain way so that they can look like my savior. I call it the, I ain't gonna say it, I'm gonna write it in my book. I'm gonna put it in my book. Because I've noticed also that when I start speaking on here, that's the reason why I shut down my YouTube channel this last time. It was two main reasons. There was a few people who I looked up to who were literally taking my intellectual properties verbatim and just using it as their own and making money off of it. How you do that? And blocking me so that people wouldn't see where they got the information from. Yeah, that type of shit. So this time, when I show up, I got everything set up. Walls are up. Boundaries are set. Coming in fully prepared. Anytime there are some people who may be honest enough to say, anytime I seen Kendra, 1 minute she here, when she disappeared, she come back elevated. And sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you got to go in a hermit mode. And you got to cleanse yourself. You got to cleanse yourself of the energies that are there in order to the abundance that is there for you. Okay, hold on. I didn't see your blink on, buddy. I'm sorry. I did not see your blinker on. But guys, I'm gonna get off of here because I got some more meditating to do this whole time, like this whole drive ever since this morning, since 8 o'clock this morning. I kind of been driving in silence, and I love that. Oh my God, like this moment is calling for me to just move and operate in silence. Sometimes I have on my music, sometimes I'm listening to you know, my sisters in the esoteric realm, you know, spirituality. I listen to the divinations and stuff. Now, particularly, I'm listening to a few pertaining to a particular situation about a masculine, 2 of them, 2 divine masculines, and I'm looking to them because I practice cartomancy, I practice divination. Cartomancy is the using cards. You're using cards to read the energy waves that, you know, the vibrations that are surrounding me, flowing through me and stuff. So I have my perspective, and then I get their perspective because I value theirs. I value their energy and where they're coming from. You know, it's not always about love. It's about, you know, leadership. It's about partnerships and the such. And so I want those pieces of them to go with mine, because we don't carry everything. We don't carry all truth. We carry half truths. And it's for us to connect with the others who have the other parts of that truth, so that we can once again come back together. There's this gentleman, if he's really a gentleman, if he's really African, because you know this AI stuff with the voices and stuff, but it's called the House of Horus, and he has these videos that talks about the origins of Africa and their way of being in spirituality. And so I've been listening to that lately, and he said in one of the videos, he said, you know, modern times, we go into hermit mode, we go in our caves, and we go into meditation to receive answers from the, you know, the Most High. He didn't say the Most High, I'm paraphrasing on that part. He said, but back then you had elders. He said, and it was so, like, one of my aha moments was when he said, a lot of times people nowadays, when they're going through their ascendant, their what is it? What's the word that he used? It's something like transmutation, right? When you're going through the transitioning process, when you're transitioning from one old way to a new way, and you're birthing again, right? A lot of times people go into hermit mode. They go into the wilderness by themselves, and they go through the phases, the transitions by themselves. Well, in the old days, in ancient times, you went through it in front of the village, so that all could see and all could learn from what you are experiencing and how you're transitioning and how you responded to that transition. Oh, I forgot what we were getting over. Sorry, buddy, but I'm gonna get in front of you. So, and I was like, that makes sense. And it brought me back to my YouTube channel, which was why I started my YouTube channel in the first place. When I first started my YouTube channel, I think it was like 2018. I'm gonna have to go back and look at my very first video. I wanted everyone to see me where I was in Ottawa, Tennessee, aka Chattanooga, Tennessee, developing myself, developing my mindset to become a fashion designer. And for a while I was doing videos and I was talking about my mindset. I was talking about the process of my emotions and the situations that I was going through, and how I was developing my thought process, my perspective, in order to elevate myself. Looking at all the resources and tools around me saying that I couldn't do this because I didn't have this. When I looked around and when I calculated my fabrics, when I calculated and I saw all the things that I already had, I had my gold right there in front of me. I just needed to spun it right into silk. Rumpelstiltskin, that story there. I need to read that. Because there's a metaphor in that. Because she spun, I think, she spun wheat or something into gold. I'm gonna have to go back to it, y'all. It's been a minute. And the crazy thing is that she had to guess his name in order to be freed. She had to guess the identity. She had to name that thing that was holding her captive. What y'all be doing is they clock it. Oh my gosh. Right there. And see, I wanted to get off, and I wanted to stop a minute ago, but it's 21 minutes in. So that, okay, I'm gonna leave it right there. And then we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back to that. The Rumpelstiltskin story. Some of y'all are experiencing that right now. Y'all looking around. Y'all looking at everybody else, looking externally at what everybody else got. They might be doing something that you're doing, or they might have gotten ahead of you and all that kind of stuff. And you're like, well, I only have this and I only have that. Yeah. You're not even counting the inventory of you. You're not even counting the inventory of who you are and how you are. There are going to be people who are going to take your words and they're going to spin it off and try to use it for their good. But what you have to understand is the power that lies within you, your vibration, your tone of voice, your shape of body. Everything about you is what actually manifests what needs to manifest at the time that it needs to manifest. And that is a science. And it just gave me the answer to what I was already studying when I was at the dealership and stuff. But I'm gonna leave it right there. The Rumpelstiltskin story. In order to be freed, she had to guess his name. Mind you, she had the power, the ability to spun, wheat into pure silk or pure gold thread, golden thread. And what is gold? How is gold processed? How is it alchemized? What is a thread? And speaking of which, I gotta go home and watch Phantom Thread. I have to watch that movie. That movie has been on my goal list ever since it came out. Like, when I first saw the advertisements, I was obsessed. I was like, I need to watch it. I have to watch it. When I tell y'all, I'm like, fashion and clothing designing is my first love, forever be my love. Like, I don't care what age I am. When I walk on that red carpet and I am at the Met Gala and my collections are being presented at the Met Gala, I don't care what age I am, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to get it done. And my baby, she's going to do it with me. I think she's going to do it with me. Hers is a little different, and I'm going to show her how she can expand and diversify her gift of crocheting into the fashion industry, because she also loves anime. She's an illustrator just like her mama. We both know how to draw. We both know how to create very artistic beings. Like, when I say my babies are my remnants, they are cut from the finest piece of cloth I have ever known. But I'm gonna see y'all later. I gotta focus. I'm almost home, and I wanna go back to my silence, and I gotta meditate. Okay, I will see y'all later on. Hopefully this uploads today on this Wednesday. I'm loving it. All right, y'all.